maybe the starting point could just be about how we bitch about Frankie. You know, he's like,
every week is just something to complain about
he's
Frankie.
like gasping to be in the podcast. He sent me like 10 messages saying, "Oh, yeah, maybe I could come on next time."
I seen that he was saying that in the group chat.
The only time he's coming on the podcast is when we're bitching about him at the start.
That's all he's getting.
That's what she deserves.
I mean, this isn't really a complaint about him, but it's just kind of an annoying situation that's happened.
Right.
Where, so his sister got a new fridge, or I think they're moving to a new place and they're getting a new fridge, or they've moved to the new place and they're getting a new fridge. Either way, they're getting a new fridge, and she's got an old one that's bigger and better than the one we've currently got. And she was like, "Oh, you can have it if you want," because I was just going to throw it, and we were like, "Oh, brilliant, I will take it off you." Because the one we've got, I mean, the one we've got's alright, but it's, you know, not exactly fucking top. No, the original, when we moved in here, there was no white goods. We had to buy a washing machine and a fridge, and the original fridge we got was an old piece of shit that looked like it was for like the fucking 70s or something, because we were just skint and we had no money to buy anything really, so we were like, right, just a fridge that works. And then we finally got a new one, like a few months ago now, I think it was. The one we've got new, that's pretty decent, but it's no, you know, top of the line or anything like that, but it's alright. I knew she's offering us this one, that's better than the one we've got, so we're like, alright, we'll take that, that's brilliant. So that was like a few weeks ago that Frankie told me we were going to be getting that fridge, and I was like, alright, brilliant, that's cool. And then he came to me and was like, oh, turns out we're not getting the fridge, because the one they got isn't going to fit in their kitchen, so they have to return it. And that, so I don't think we're going to get it. And I was like, oh, that's a shame. I was like, I mean, it's not like we really needed it, but would have been cool to have. And I was like, oh, that's a shame. And then that switched back to, oh no, we are getting it. They got a different one, so we are actually going to get it. And I was like, all right, cool. So we are getting it, right? Brilliant. And then he was like, it was yesterday we were supposed to get it. He was like, aye, Tuesday. We're gonna go up and get it and bring it down. And that's why I wasn't sure if I would be able to do this recording yesterday during the day. Because I was expecting the fridge to be coming that day for us to get it, and then I would have to spend time, like, you know, helping get it in and moving the old one out and moving all the stuff for the old fridge to the new one and all that shit. So I was like, I probably won't be able to have time to do the podcast before my stream because I'll be doing all that shit. But then Frankie fucking messaged me yesterday and was like, oh no, I think he got back to work when he told me, and he was just like, there's like paving and shit being done, like roadwork being done in their street, so the delivery drivers literally can't get any deliver their new fridge, and that means they also can't get their old fridge out because all the paving's been like done and shit around their street. And I'm just like, god damn, man, are we ever getting this fridge? Like, it's just been an actual, like, just constant, you're getting it, no, you're not getting it, oh no, you're getting it, oh no, you're not getting it, no. It's just like, fucking hell. It's like, and it's annoying because it's not even, we don't even need it. It's not even like a situation where we're like, oh, we need a fridge. It's just like, we've got one that works fine, and it's just like, this is just a new better one, but it's just like this constant thing, oh, you're getting it, no, you're not, oh, you're getting it, no, you're not, and it's just like, god damn, just all this shit keeps happening. It's just, it's like, fucking come on, man. Actually, so annoying. Just like, I just want to have the fridge at this point, just so this is done with. No.
Do you want to know something I didn't
so
know
weird.
about fridges though?
Mm.
You know how, like, when people buy fridges, it's the hinges on one side?
Aye.
You can change that.
I feel like I've heard that before or seen that before.
Like,
I think.
I don't know how I never thought about that before. Like, usually when people talk about fridges and like buying a fridge, I'm always like, well, what way is it going to open? Depending on where you put it in your kitchen. It doesn't even matter.
I mean,
it doesn't even matter.
I feel like every fridge I've ever had is always opened from the left side over to the right side. I don't think I've ever seen a fridge, unless it's got two doors. I've never seen a fridge that opens from the right side to the left side, I don't think. Not that I can think anyway.
What do you mean, right?
I feel like I've always
right
had...
side opening and the hinges on the left?
No, like, I feel like every fridge I've ever had or used has always been, you grab it on the left side and then pull it over to the right side to open it.
Oh, right, okay.
So it opens from left to right.
My fridge is the opposite of that.
Is it?
You open it?
That's strange. That's strange.
Anyway,
I mean, I mean,
I know,
depends what your kitchen layout is, I guess, but.
you can get Facebook on your fridges now.
Fucking. I mean, some you can. There's some fridges that have got like touchscreens with like browsers and shit in it. It's a thing. It is a thing that exists.
I find it weird, right? Like, imagine, like, I think you can get fridges now that have Alexa and all that in it, right? If it's weird enough just talking to an empty room and asking for Alexa, now you're talking to your fridge.
That just reminded me of that video I sent in the group chat yesterday. The fucking friends Ross has got fucking schizophrenia. Some days that editing was so good.
What?
It's just sort of I'll post a link to it in the description so people can do it. But it's basically somebody edited a scene of Friends with Ross. They edited a scene with Ross in it, and where he's kind of losing his mind in a situation, and they edited every other character out of the scene, so it just looks like Ross is just losing his mind to an empty room, and it's fucking hilarious.
Do you know when he talks about Ross was very mentally unstable throughout the entirety of Friends?
He honestly was. He would lose his mind over such little things.
And people think people like, oh, Ross is the stable one. He's had the same, like, more or less the same job throughout the entire series. He's the most unstable. Phoebe's more stable than Ross.
Mm-hmm. I mean, the whole Geller family, they're all insane. Monica's insane. Their parents are horrible people.
I just love Judy, honestly. See what?
She's such a bitch.
Oh,
She's so.
See that scene though, right? Where it's Phoebe's birthday dinner, and everybody's late, right? And Rachel and Ross get Judy to watch Emma. And
aye.
Her version of watching Emma is sitting at the bar with like a glass of wine. And she's just sitting waving at everybody. I was howling.
It's so bad. Fucking. It's just, their parents are just insane. Like, I think it's in the first season, I think it is, or the second season, where Monica loses her job, I think. Mm-hmm. And then Ross is like, oh, I'm going to tell them because you have to tell them. And she was like, no, they're going to go apeshit. And then, I don't know, it's Ross needs to tell them about his son being born from his ex.
Oh yeah,
who's now a lesbian.
Shit to kind of confess.
They've both got, but that's the main thing. But they both got shit to confess. But that's like the main thing. The episode is him having to tell them about that. And then it blows up into this whole thing where Monica, I think, just blots it out. It's like, he's done all this shit. All this fucked up shit's happened in his life. He's having a win with his ex, who is a lesbian, and with this other woman. And then after all explaining it all, rather than berating Ross about it, like, how the fuck has that happened? That you're having a baby with your ex? Rather than that, they just turn around to Monica and it's like, you knew about this? And you didn't tell us until now? It's like, what the fuck?
Definitely. Horrible parents. Not
actually horrible.
Lovable people. Horrible people.
I mean, at the end of the day, that's most sitcoms. Most sitcoms, the characters are not good people.
Yeah.
And that's why I love Always Sunny, because they really lean into it to the point of, like, they are just horrible, horrible people. They don't try and pretend like they're nice people who do horrible things. They are just horrible people.
And the only people that show's trying to sell that they're good people is the characters. They believe that they're good people, and they're the only people that believe.
They are delusional.
Yeah. I really do love that. It's Always Sunny for that, because, like, the comedy in it is
so
just
good.
As you say, like in Friends, where, you know, characters that are lovable and stuff like that, they're doing shit that you know, it doesn't quite match. And then you've got, like, It's Always Sunny, where, you know, they're huge pieces of trash and they're doing trash shit because they're trash people.
Mm-hmm.
It just makes it 10 times.
It's that thing where, like, when you take the laughter out of a lot of these sitcoms like Friends and, like, Big Bang Theory and shit like that, and you watch the scenes without the laughs, it becomes so, like, bad. We like, wow, this scene is really fucking awkward. Like, what's actually happening without laughter is, like, such a horrible, awkward thing. But, and then it's just like, Aye, and it's like, aye, these are horrible people that are saying awful things, and it's just,
You're only laughing because of the kind of it's set up as a
aye.
joke, but like when you examine it, really, it's trash. Like
If you need laughter over the scenes to make it be like, aye, look, see this as comedy, then you're not really doing that great a job of writing good comedy.
Aye, exactly.
Not that there isn't shows that exist that have got laugh tracks that aren't like funny shows. That I mean, there are shows that are funny that do have laugh tracks.
Name one.
Oh, hold on, somebody's at my door.
How convenient. You're obviously away to answer the door. I wonder if you've been murdered. Probably could do the podcast I'm on. Don't know if it'd be as interesting talking to myself.
You'll never guess what that was.
No, it was not delivery.
A package for Frankie. Oh my god.
I'm surprised you got to the door in time.
They just the door was lying open, so they just kind of threw it in, and I don't know why they rang the doorbell as well, but
just to let
they just threw it in behind the door.
In that package, they're throwing that.
Oh, it's funny.
What is he getting? Open it up.
I'm not opening up his package. It could be anything. Absolutely not doing that. I'm not. Let me just commit fraud on audio, on video or audio or whatever, and then upload it. No fraud. No fraud, but I'm pretty sure it's illegal to open somebody else's mail.
It's definitely illegal to open somebody
exactly.
else's mail. But you could play the blind card. Oh, I thought it was my name. You know, I don't know how many.
To be fair, I have actually done that before, where I've been expecting a package, and a package just came, and I thought it was mine, so I've just went to open it, and then I went, oh shit, this is something my Frankie's ordered. I didn't even read it. I just assumed it was what I ordered because I was expecting it that day.
Mm-hmm.
But I genuinely have done that, made that mistake before. But
you could genuinely make it again today.
No, I can't do that.
You don't live in any sort of like kind of fun way, do you? You're like,
what is that? Because I'm not breaking laws.
It's paper. It's just a bit of paper separating you from the knowledge that what's in that package. What has Frankie got?
I mean, it's one of the soft packages, so it's probably just like some clays or something, or like a shot or some shit, I think.
Jankie's collecting Beanie Babies.
I don't think that's a thing anymore.
I know, but as we spoke about, he's obviously heard the pod and he went out, used the hammock and sent everybody that he knew a picture of him using the
He's trying what we say. He's trying to buy the shit before it goes up in price.
He's like, I'll get the Beanie Babies because folk will start listening to that and then they'll buy Beanie Babies and I'll have the, you know, he's thought about it. He's smart. I guess he just doesn't buy shit for the sake of it. But still, go and open the package. Let's just see what's in it.
I'm not doing that. He'll be raging.
If I was there, I'd do it.
I know you would. You'd have no filter on that whatsoever. I respect. See, here's the difference between me and you, John. I respect people's privacy. That's one of the differences with living with Frankie and living with you. Was anytime Frankie wanted something from me, he would knock on my door and on my bedroom door, and he'll wait for me to go, "Aye, what is it?" And then he'll come in. You would just literally just burst in, no warning whatsoever, and be like, get this done, or this is here for you, somebody's at the door, package for you and all this shit, and I'm just like, fucking...
Listen, you had plenty of warnings. You see when I was muttering underneath my breath? You know, outside, that was your warnings. That's what you should have known.
I'm sure when my door closed and my headphones on, I would absolutely would have heard that. That was clearly my fault.
I mean, I don't think it's an issue of respect, and I think that you're trying to, you know, totally ruin my character there by saying that I don't have any respect. I would open the package out of concern, you see.
Concern?
Concern, because, you know, Frankie might have got it, and it might be broke. You need to check.
That's some insane level fucking reasoning.
But, I mean, to be fair, like, chances are, whatever it is he's bought, he's going to show us anyway.
I mean, not necessarily. Not unless it's something Disney want people to know I go.
Like a Beanie Baby?
I don't know. I mean, like, for all I know, it's fucking Lube or some shit.
What's Frankie doing with Lube?
I don't know. Whatever you do with Lube.
I don't know. I don't have a car. I wouldn't know.
Frankie has got a bike, so you know.
He does have a bike. Well, there you go. It's not nefarious, is it? If it's just for the bike.
I don't know what it is. I don't want to open something ever that somebody else orders, because if it's something that I'm not supposed to see, then I'd feel bad about it, and it would be awkward. I'd know it, and that they don't know that I know. I guess he would know that, because there's nobody for me to open my packaging for him to know that I did open it.
As
like he would know.
I mean, it could, for all you know, it could be drugs. It could be some black tar heroin that you need to be like challenge Frankie about. You could save his life by opening that package.
I'm going to say I'm pretty positive as know that. So
I probably have to stipulate that Frankie is not known for enjoying black tar heroin.
Other drugs are available.
Other drugs are available.
He does not do heroin. Absolutely not.
Wouldn't it be funny if like he sent me a picture after listening to this podcast of him taking heroin? Like, oh, I just thought I'd try it.
We're influencing Frankie's life through this podcast.
Frankie's obsessed with the pod. The pod's been about 90% about him.
It has. It's been a lot about us just shite talking him just because it's hilarious.
You were going to say something there?
I was going to say, fucking, speaking of Frankie, he tagged me in a video on his Instagram the other day.
Mm-hmm.
Me, him and Chris were playing Kirby down at that area. And I just, watching it, the industrial estate, I was just watching it, I'm just like, man, my legs are so fucking white. Like, it's no, I don't know. It's one of the things where you don't really think much I feel like I don't think much about how I look unless I see myself in photos and videos.
So yeah,
and then I see myself and I'm just like, man, I'm so fucking pale. And then in this video as well, I'm like, man, I'm so fucking fat.
I think everybody on this earth, I don't care who they are, I don't care who you are or where you came from. If you look at a photo of yourself or a video of yourself, you're always going to have an issue with it. You know, you're always going to be like, oh, I'm too skinny, or I'm too fat, or I'm too this, or I'm too that. Just, I don't know.
Does it matter? No, I mean, not really. I mean, it doesn't bother me that much. I didn't like that. It's always a shock. It's because like I always do. I mean, that's the thing. I stream a lot, so people might be like, "Oh, you stream a lot, and you've got your face cam on a lot of the time." And all that. So I see myself with the shoulders up on that a lot of the time, but I very, very rarely do I see videos and pictures of myself like full body. You know what I mean? So it's sometimes a shock when I see it, because I don't take selfies really of myself or anything like that. I very rarely ever take a picture of myself. So like whenever I end up seeing a video or photo of myself full body, it's always I'm just like, oh man, I'm looking pretty bad in that. Like I'm looking pretty big, and it's fucking oof.
I guess like I'm definitely the same when I look at myself in photos. Like, but I think what you look for in photos of you, other people don't see.
True.
You know, because obviously it's like it's your insecurities that are really talking when you look at a photo.
Exactly.
So you know, so it's and nobody else will really see that. You know, or nobody else will ever care about it as much as you do. Which is so weird. You know, it's because it's just kind of like a way of putting yourself down.
It is. I say people do that all the time. Like you'll do that all the time where when you're just walking about in public and you'll think all these things about yourself. Like, am I looking really weird right now doing what I'm doing, or are people staring at me because I'm doing this? And in reality, nobody gives a fuck. Nobody cares. Nobody's looking at you. Nobody cares what you're doing. Like you're just all that shit's always in your head. Like when people go into shops and don't buy anything, and then they leave and they're like, "Oh, they're gonna think I'm stealing something," and all that. And the reality, they could not give two shits. Like nobody's watching you. Nobody's looking at you. Like I've never. A few people
that have like they've always needed some sort of like security or comfort. Like they couldn't go into a shop alone.
Mm.
or they're always looking at the ground because they can't look up, and it's because it's just their insecurities are telling them what the other people are thinking that, when really it's just them. Nobody else, honestly, and it's not a bad way that nobody else cares. It's just that everybody's got their own kind of shit going on.
Aye, everybody's got their own shit.
You're worrying that what you're thinking, everybody's worrying about you. The only person that's doing that is you, and everybody's doing the same thing.
Exactly. I mean, that's the thing. The best way to think about that kind of stuff is to think to yourself, if I was looking at somebody doing what I'm doing, would I honestly think that? Would I honestly look at that person and be like, oh, they're fucking weird for doing that, or what? Oh, they're clearly stealing because they're walking out the shop without buying anything? No, like you genuinely wouldn't think that of somebody if you saw them in that situation. So why would you think other people think that of you?
Exactly. The best advice I ever got was treat yourself like you would a friend.
Exactly.
Because a lot of people don't treat themselves, like it's not a good relation. People don't. Some people don't have a good relationship with themselves, and like they'll do stuff like that. They'll be like, oh, they think you look silly in that outfit or whatever it is, and then, sorry.
Yeah.
Excuse me. Sorry, no, it's just a bit of cola went in the thing way there.
Oh. Sure.
What was I saying? Sorry. Totally lost track.
So far, no. You were saying you were talking about treating people like you would treat a friend, or you would want a friend to treat you.
Like, if somebody like people who have like all these kind of insecurities and stuff like that, if their friend came up to them and was like, "I've got all these anxieties and fears about being outside," that person would have all the best advice. They'd be like, try smiling at people, going out, talking to people, all that, but they would never follow that advice themselves.
Aye, that's the thing. People
they don't have that relationship. They don't have a good relationship with themselves, that they treat themselves like they would a friend or a loved one.
People are horrendous at following their own advice they give other people.
Definitely.
Like they'll constantly be like, fucking Dr. Phil and cunts be like, you should do this and do that and do this and do that, and then you'll be like, and then you'll go and do the exact opposite in your own life. It's bad. True.
So I guess sometimes it's easier to follow a stranger's advice than it is to kind of follow your own.
I mean, it's not just because somebody else doesn't necessarily live their life in a certain way doesn't mean they're wrong for telling you that you shouldn't. Like, I'm a big fat cunt, right? If I tell somebody, you probably shouldn't eat this much shite or this much junk food and all that, and they're like, what are you talking? You're this big fat cunt, and I'm like, exactly. So I know.
Well, exactly.
I know what I'm talking. I'm not. You don't want to be like this. Even though I don't eat very healthy, something. It doesn't take a genius to know that you shouldn't. It's obviously a thing where it's like you shouldn't do it just because I do it. I mean,
well, I think that's a good point. Like, a lot of people will do things literally because other people have done them and not realise that maybe there's a lot of different factors when it comes to them. Like, say for you, just hypothetically, you could go the rest of your life and like be a wee bit heavier and live to your 80s. Somebody who ate healthy and whatever could die at their 50, or someone who sees you and goes, oh well, they don't need to do, or they don't need to look, or they don't look like they go to the gym, or they don't look like they eat healthy food, so I'm going to do that, and then they could die at 40.
It's a bastard. Life's a cunt. Some people chain smoke to their 80 and live, and then you'll have fucking athletes at the top of their game that'll die at 25 of a heart attack. Like, life's a cunt. Like, you just never know what'll happen.
You really just know. That's why you should just enjoy it and just do things that make you happy. And if you like to eat, then eat. Do you know what I mean? Like, you're not here for a long time. You're here for a good time.
Just enjoy things, but in moderation as well.
Yeah, definitely. Like, you only go you only do a Frankie and order your black tar heroin and then send everybody videos. But no, definitely, like, what really annoys me these days, especially like Instagram and stuff, is people will give dieting advice because there is a lot of people who are insecure about their weight. And the dieting advice that they're given isn't good advice. Like, it's been debunked and stuff like that, and they're selling quick fixes, and it's just making people who are already in a bad way about it feel worse.
I don't know why. That's one of the crazy things about social media is like somebody can have this whole blog or whatever about a topic that they genuinely don't know anything about. They're just talking at their arse, and people will follow it and just assume that they're like following somebody that knows what they're talking about without any proof that they know what they're talking about.
Exactly.
And it's like, you wouldn't do that in real life. If some stranger came up to you and started giving you advice about something, you wouldn't. I mean, you wouldn't just be like, "Oh, they must know what they're talking about." You'd be like, "I mean, who the fuck are you?" You'd be like, "Who the fuck are you? Who are you to give me advice about this thing? Do you like? You got the credentials to back this shit up that you're claiming that you know what you're talking about in that?" But
I think there's an element where because it's on the phone, there's an element of trust to it. You know, like you're kind of like seeing is believing. You know, they put a photo of themselves up after working maybe for like 2 years, you know, working out 5 times a week, eating right for those 2 years, do you know what I mean? So they're ripped, shredded, all that carry on, and they're like, yeah, you can get this in 2 weeks. No.
no, it's like, oh, well, I'm a generally healthy looking person, so you can trust my advice on how to diet and exercise and all this, when in reality it could be that they just don't eat that much, or that they just kind of generally eat healthy, and maybe they just have like a fast metabolism. Like, it could be all these other factors, and they're just like, let me just, you know, I'll look decently healthy, so let me just get this like product that I'm gonna fucking sell to cunts that's I don't even take myself, and I'm just gonna take, you can trust me to take this. You look at me, I look healthy, don't I? And then everybody's just like, aye.
It's like dentists who've got veneers, like fake teeth, caps, all that, right? So their teeth will never fade or change or anything like that. And it's like they're trying to sell you toothpaste. Like, if you want teeth, do you know that are just completely fake? Oh, buy this toothpaste.
As I was that one dentist, though. It's only ever 9 out of 10 dentists that recommend stuff. There's always, I always want to know. I want to know who that one. I want to know who that one is. Just like, no, fuck Colgate. Like,
no, fuck your electric toothbrush. I don't believe in it.
It's that one. There's that one outlier.
I'd love to. I would like for them to at least get like a kind of, I don't know what you would call it, but like a group kind of where it's like the 10 dentists and the 9 are agreeing and the ones no, and the ones screaming at the rest of the 9 of them like, don't do it,
don't do it. And they're just like, oh, that's him. That's fucking. That's Dr. Hudson. He's always fucking negative about everything, man. We can't trust him. Just put it. Just. He's always disagreeing.
It's quite funny though.
Oh.
But like, definitely, like social media is like this kind of minefield nowadays, really. Where, I mean, I certainly don't believe anything I see. Like, no picture, nothing. You know, everything can be edited to look 10 times better. All that carry on.
There's actually a recent thing happened with that's been kind of crazy, where it is so easy to see something from one side online and just assume what the story is, and then it's like, oh, but here's this like little bit of context and to the situation, and it completely changes it to like be the exact opposite of what you thought it was. So there was this, I don't know if you've seen this, but there was a video last week where there was a guy who got pulled over by cops. I think it was in America, and he's like recording it, as a lot of people do nowadays. They record whenever they get stopped by police, especially in America, because fucking they're just absolutely insane over there. They just abuse power, something rotten. So it's like, I'm doing this for my own safety, basically, recording the situation.
They're more worried about their own well-being than they are about anyone else around them or the person that they're meant to apprehend.
Aye, and it's like, so they're recording it, and then he's recording himself. He's sitting, he's in the car in like the driver's seat, and he's just got his phone recording. And one of the cops comes up behind and like looks like he throws something in the guy's back seat, and he's like, "What's that?" And then he like points his camera, and it's like a wee bag. It looks like a wee plastic bag that would have drugs in it.
Dirty bastard.
And that's the thing. Everybody was like, "Oh my god, this cop's planting shit on this guy to try and get him done." Yeah. And then it's like, "Oh, this shit's like, I can't fucking believe he's done that," and all this blah blah blah. And it was this whole thing where it blew up, and everybody was going ape shit about oh, this cop's a fucking piece of shit for doing that and this.
Yeah.
But then there was a video from the body cam footage of the cop that was released. That was what actually happened. Was I think one of the passengers that was in the guy's car that got pulled over had that drug bag on him. One of the other cops took it off him, hot-handed it to this guy, and he was like, "Oh, I had that on him and all that." And rather than put it, they had to put it somewhere, and he was like, "Right, I'll just throw it in the seat in the car the new." Because I don't want to throw it. I don't want to throw it on top of the car because it's one day and it's just quite a wee bag, and so it could get blown away. I'll just sit it in the car the new, for a second, basically, just to put it down. So it's just called. It was like he wasn't actually trying to plant drugs on the guy. It was drugs that somebody in his car had on them that they took off him, and they were like, he was just putting it down somewhere, and it was this whole thing where it's like, well, look at that, this thing that looked so horrible. In this context, all of a sudden with a little bit of different context now, it wasn't even a bad thing at all. It was just like, and it was it's crazy to.
Without that body cam footage, but that police guy's life would have been ruined.
Everybody
in that car would have known that it was a lie. Nobody else would have.
This is the crazy thing, right? This is why I don't understand why so many cops are against body cams, because it not only protects citizens for being abused by, fucking cops that are on fucking power trips and all that. It protects them, but it also protects cops for being in these situations. It protects both sides for not being in these situations where things can get too out of context or easily lied about and have these horrible things happen. And it's like the only cops that that are against body cams are clearly ones that know they do bad shit and they don't want to be caught doing it. Because if you were a good cop that always did your job in an honest way and all that, you would have no problem having a body cam, because it would mean that you would never have to be in this kind of situation where, this guy recorded me with his phone doing this thing and it looks really bad, but actually that wasn't the situation, but nobody's going to believe me because people hate cops. Yeah. And I mean, I think rightfully so, people have got a hatred against cops right now because fucking, oh my god, it's like insane how much corruption there is with cops and all that, and just it is really fucking bad. So I can't blame people for having such a negative thing towards them, but it's one of those things at the end of the day where, just like everything, you kind of look at something black and white and be like, oh well, no, all cops are bad, because there's a lot of bad ones.
Nobody's got a right to, or nobody has more right to untrust the cops than me. Unlawfully arrested, detained, in jails. Call me. I was going to like myself to someone else who's been in jail for a long time, but I'm not going to do that because I don't want that shitstorm. But yes, against my will, a 4-day weekend in the cells. Because I mean, for another John Wright.
I mean that they were looking for literally somebody with the same name as you, and just didn't even. I mean, that's crazy to me. Surely they had a description of the guy that they could go off of. Like, this guy looks nothing like the description we've got, but he's got the same very common name. So I will just fucking arrest him. There's no chance anybody else could have these two names that are very common. Like, there's no way. Let's just arrest this cunt. Like, what the fuck?
For me, for that whole situation, right? And I went through a tough time. Let's not make any lies about it. But what really just kind of peaked the whole situation for me was that the fact that he was as well in the cells, but in a different place. He was in like Airdrie Sheriff or something, and I was in Edinburgh. So,
people are
in the jail or are in the cells for the same thing.
Fucking cities apart. It's like, I'm the Flash. I just fucking sprint it all here for another city, like in the same night, like fucking.
Like who's on the computer and like seen the blip and went, oh, there's a John Wright already in Airdrie Sheriff. Oh well, we'll just detain this one. Crazy.
It's actually it's fucking bad. I mean, it's a sad thing where I don't remember who this quote is for, but there was a quote that I think it was a comedian who said something like, people who want to be politicians should not be politicians. And I feel like that's a very similar thing you could have with something like police officers, where it's like, a lot of people who probably really want to be police officers are probably want it for the wrong reasons, because they want it so they can have authority over people and abuse their power. No for the reasons they like, oh, I want to protect people's, rights and liberties and
Clean
the
up,
law and all that, and
aye.
clean up and like make sure the streets are safe. No. They're like, oh, I can have control over people and I can have all this authority and people have to respect what I say, and it's just like
Aye.
that's a lot of people that get into that kind of job are like that, and it's like all for the wrong reasons, and it's the same with politicians. Like being a politician's got to be one of the most stressful jobs, but so the reason for wanting to get in it is just for a lot of people at least is just like I just want power and money.
Money, aye. I mean, I think that it should be like everybody. It should be like a civil duty where you work in a supermarket, you work in a fast food industry, or either or, then you work in like the civil service, HMRC or something like that. You basically that you go through a period where you have to work all these jobs, like say over a year, you do one of these jobs a month or something like that. And for me, the idea behind it would be to show you the kind of other side of it.
Aye.
If you work in a supermarket, you'll never go into another supermarket and get empty shit.
Aye.
You know how shit it is. You're not going to. The same with fast food workers, they're not going to go to McDonald's and kick up a fuck because they forgot the chips. They're going to just go, it's fine. Do you know what I mean? And I think the same with the police. Like, if people like you were talking about, people that going out for the wrong reasons, if everybody's kind of been in the police, nobody can really abuse the systems, if you know what I mean, because people can catch how you're doing it. People that listen, I don't know what you were doing, but I was in the police and that's not what I did, and blah 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 blah. Do you know what I mean? Like, there's more accountability if everybody's kind of took part in it.
Mm-hmm.
Is it? Guess what I'm trying to say?
It would probably be a lot better if they had actual, better ways of training people. Like, it's like when you look at the amount of time it actually takes to train, like police officers, it's insanely low. That's insane for a job like that. Like, that should not be something that's that easy to get, or like that takes that little amount of time to like train for a job that's
the application. Well, I can only speak for like Police Scotland because that's kind of only. And I don't know about like down south or other places, but Police Scotland, they obviously like it's 3 months just for being an officer, and they don't get, as far as I know, tasers or anything like that. So it's no. They're not charging any situation. Guns drawn.
That's the difference here, is that a cop here isn't going to just run in with a fucking deadly weapon and just shoot somebody because they freaked out because they weren't trained properly,
Like, we both know somebody that's in like the armed.
We do.
He has to go through, like mental well-being evaluations every time he goes to pick up his gun because they're not going to just give a gun to Andy. Hope that they're all right that day. This ain't no America.
American police is just, it's insane how bad things are over there. Like, the amount of videos you see these cunts that have got guns and got authority and all these people that are clearly not, they clearly can't handle that kind of situation. A cop that's like fucking, there's a dog running at me that, and for all I know, is just running because it's excited to see a person. I'm going to freak out, shout at it, pull my gun out within 1 millisecond and shoot it dead. And it's like what? Like, if you're somebody that's that bad at handling something like that, like, you should not have a fucking gun. You should not have a deadly weapon that you can just pull out whenever you want and like just shoot at cunts and then no even that's the, I think one of the worst things. No repercussions are one of the worst things. Like, a cop can literally basically murder somebody. And then they'll be like, we're putting them on paid leave. And while we investigate, while we internally investigate, and then after a few months, when people have forgot about it, we'll just bring them back and forgot about it, and that's it. And it's just like, it's insane.
Run under carpet.
It's just,
it's like, how we were talking earlier on about like comedies and stuff like that. They're nothing without the laugh track. People think Police Academy is this big comedy series, but it's actually a training video for American cops. That's the training they go through.
Yep. It's
crazy.
It's fucking insane.
But America's such a strange kind of queer big place because it's this melting pot of a huge amount of people.
Aye.
So like, I don't know, and there's a kind of arrogance about them in the way where it's kind of like, I see the melting pot that is America. I survived it, and so I'm going to have my guns, or I'm going to, I'm going to do all my shit because that's my right as an American. Because
There's a great line for Al Murray, one of his specials, where he says he's talking about different countries and stuff, and he says, and I think he's like gone through the globe, just like making all these like comments and stuff about every country in the world, and he gets to America and he says, basically, America's a great idea that's got out of hand. And it's like that's such a good description of what America is. It's a good idea. It's got out of hand. It's just it's a fucking shit show over there right now.
It's ran away phase.
It's
the idea's ran away phase.
it's bad.
On paper, like America sounds great.
Mm-hmm.
Give me your poor, you're tired, you're hungry, or whatever it is. I can't remember, but essentially a call for all immigrants of all over the world that no matter their position or creed or race, whatever it is, they can come to America and have
the American dream.
That American dream.
And then when you get there, and like 30% of the people fucking despise you just because you're no born in the same place as them.
Yeah.
And it's like,
it's just chaos. It's just I mean, I've been to New York and I've been to Florida, and they were both just chaotic. They're just.
It's an insane place, man.
Mm-hmm.
It's actually an insane place. Not to say that we don't have insane people here and all that, but it's just
no. We definitely do.
God damn, it's crazy.
Our kind of weirdness or our craziness is a lot more boiled down than it is in America. In America, it's everything. It's everything all the time. It's bigger, it's better. It's a wee bit more niche here across the pond.
There's a new subreddit I started following called "Shit Americans Say," and it's pretty funny. It's just like the most insane shit. Like there's so many comments of people being like, This is like people in places like Reddit and Twitter where they'll like comment on stuff being like this is an American website, so you have to speak English, like shit like that. It's like, what are you talking about? Like what? Like what world do you live? You think America's so fucking like they own the internet? Like
and the English language.
What are you on about?
Americans are crazy. I mean, they're nice, friendly people. I've always found that.
They're
always nice and friendly until you disagree with them. And like people say that Scottish people are contentious, but American people are on a different level.
They are. They honestly are.
About Americans, I need to go and get my dinner.
As we have been gone for about 40 odd minutes, so that's a bit over the normal time we usually. That we discuss going for. Usually we say about 30 minutes that we go for, but sometimes you'll go over a wee bit, so.
I mean, it's fine. I mean, I'm happy keeping it loose. That extra 10 minutes bitching about Frankie was really worth it.
It's true.
And plus, like, the package delivery, so.
The package delivery did happen. It's hilarious that it happened during the recording of this.
I would howl if every time we recorded there was a package.
The fact that at the start of the conversation, the start of the podcast, I was like, he's not been ordered anything. He gets paid the day, so maybe it'll start happening. And then literally 10 minutes later, somebody's at the door. What's that? Oh, fucking package for Frank.
He was on that Prime 6 a.m. this morning, 2 p.m. delivery.
Fucking hell. Alright.
Well, thank you to our audience for listening to us.
Thank you. Yeah. It's been fun again.
Frankie, obviously, if you're listening, I can't wait to get your pictures of you. You take my black tar heroin sitting on your hand.
Oh my god.
I really hope he isn't taking black tar heroin.
You never know.
I know, you really do never know. It's crazy, isn't it? The secret lives that people live. Maybe that's what we should do next week. Secret lives.
Secret lives?
If you get any secret lives.
I actually, it turns out I'm secretly fucking. I'm secretly this actually big YouTube channel, and people just think it's this other person, but it's actually me running it. Yeah, it's fucking.
I could believe that. Would you believe that I'm Banksy?
Banksy? Is that the guy that destroyed that had a painting that was at an auction and it like destroyed itself as it got sold? Actually amazing.
That was me. That's all my genius.
So good.
So, this little podcast is the one that's outed Banksy's identity. So, I mean, that's
Oh
big
shit.
news.
Oh shit.
Big news. Big if true.
Big if true.
But anyway, I will speak to you next week
I will,
after I've had my dinner.
I will also be going to get some food before my stream, so have a
What
good
you
evening.
streaming
Probably just gonna play more Pokemon Unite. To be honest,
Sweet.
maybe do some tier list stuff as well.
Sweet. Well,
Yeah.
I will speak to you then.
Speak to you later, man.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.